Hello everybody, I'm Tom and you are watching me play Divinity Original Sin 2. Today is going to be a very short episode, and depending on what you like in Let's Plays, potentially a very boring episode. I'm literally just going to talk to everyone in the camp, and that's pretty much it. So it's going to be like a lot of inventory management of new spells and things, and talking to people, so if you're not too interested in that, you could probably skip this episode. Or my suggestion, you'll probably just like chuck it on 2x speed and look through it, I guess. There will be some interesting conversations, that's for sure.
You tried your best.
You're alive! Wasn't sure you would be. Samadel, this is the one I told you about.
Han was the guy who took us on the boat to actually get out in the first place.
The dishevelled lizard eyes you with hope, though her hope is tinged with mistrust.
Fair enough.
Han tells me you helped him out of Fort Joy. For that, you have my thanks.
It was really him that helped you, truth be told.
We helped each other. That's what sorcerers need to do nowadays.
Can I ask if... Did you happen to meet a man named Gareth on your way here?
Can't be sure. Why?
He'll be back, Samadel. I know he will. He has to.
The reason I answered like that, by the way, is we've met a few people and we didn't really ask their names.
Indeed. We need our leader. And if he doesn't return with help soon, we haven't a hope.
What help could this Gareth bring you here?
Have you heard of Shriekers?
Nope.
Han looks down with a flinch. Samadel reaches out, grasping his hand. Her jaw tightens.
Instinctive fear.
They're weapons that can kill with a screech. The Magisters patchwork them from living sorcerers. Don't misunderstand me. We're not afraid to fight, but we are powerless against Shriekers. The priestess at the shrine told Gareth some ancient secrets, some defenses that could be found in Brackus's armory, and he went there, in the hopes of finding it, whatever it is.
Do you know how I can help?
You're kind to offer, but you'd best talk to Gareth's squire, Exeter. He'll know where your talents can be most used. Now, Han, let's take a look at your nasty leg injury.
Catch you later, Skipper. It's good you're here.
So Samadel, that conversation is technically all a conversation with Samadel, but she sells pyrokinetic skills. So if you missed getting them from Stingtail, particularly if you have, if you chose to bring, what's her name? Sabile. If you bring Sabile or Sabile, depending on how you pronounce it, in your party, she will just straight up kill Stingtail. So there's a good chance you can miss out on these fire spells. So if you do want some fire spells, she can sell them for you, which is quite nice. I think I already know Haste and Peace of Mind. I do. They're the only two spells I want for fire out of the entirety of the fire tree, so I'm not too worried about it.
Can you hear me?
Losa's time to shine.
In an instant, my wounds have all but vanished. I didn't think. I was certain I wouldn't. Thank you.
It was nothing. What happened to you?
The Magister flagship. It has ballastay that tore our ship into kindling. A shard from our own mast pierced my side.
Oof. That's a death
And
blow
luckily
right
the
there.
others managed to haul me all the way here. Especially after I saw what the Magisters did to those of us they captured.
He shudders at the memory.
They turn the living into shriekers. Crucified wretches that unleash pure destruction on anyone who tries to pass. Nobody survives those things.
Claude, turn your head if you can hear me.
I wish I had a fitting way to thank the person who saved my life. As it is, all I can offer is, well, it's not much, but maybe you'll find some use for it. Thank you.
You brought him back from the brink. Thank you.
No problem. I can do the same for the next guy, too.
You healed me. How did you... Oh, never mind. I don't care how. I only care that today won't be my last.
Indeed. You have 28 gold. I am strictly just using these guys specifically to get as much gold as I possibly can from them.
Matis, let me change your dressing.
I will not be a burden. Leave me be.
Ilusion's locks. Stop fidgeting, lad.
That'll do. It's the least you could do. What happened to you?
I don't remember much. I barely had time to realize the Magisters were attacking before I was injured.
The fog.
The last thing I saw were these things, these shriekers.
Matis, the wound is...
They really build up the
Magisters are
shriekers.
gonna pay in blood for what they did to us.
If my mother were here, she'd box my ears for not being able to thank you properly. Though I reckon that walloping from the Reds was punishment enough. Take this, at least. It'll have to do. Thank you.
Healed? Bring them all back from the brink.
And finally, we have Mattis.
How do you have so much power?
You've healed us. All of us. I owe you a debt. We all do.
What happened to you?
The Magisters attacked our camp back at the harbour. I caught one of their arrows right in my side. That would have been a slow death. I've seen it before.
Will you be able to join into the fight when we escape the island?
He lands a comradely slap on your back. His strength has definitely returned.
Don't you doubt it. This old war serpent's still got some fight left in him. Especially now that wound is healed.
War Serpent is a fucking great way of putting it. Fucking War Serpent. I love it. 47. That's actually kind of significant.
Stop fidgeting, lad.
Is there anything I can sell for 10? Probably not. Well, one of these will do.
Please. Water.
Cool. Take your leave. Also, we'll come over here. She's actually hurt as well, so I may as well take her back up to full.
They're gonna be all right. Thank you. Thank you, gods above. Thank you.
Now, Simone will sell water skills. Also, she'll give you a pretty big discount if you actually help her. You see there, we got a 4% discount, even though she doesn't like us at all. Actually, no, that'll be from bartering. Maybe she doesn't give a discount. I thought she did. Actually, let me check. Let's complete this, technically. I think that wand is better than the Red Princess.
Ilusion's locks. Stop
I could be wrong, but if it is... technically not. But I like it better. We got a Bleed Fire skill book.
The fog.
Ilusion's locks.
is
Stop
lifting.
fidgeting, lad.
I don't think...
I'm alive! I'm alive!
I don't think I want Bleed Fire for any reason. I think I can safely sell Bleed Fire.
Ilusion's locks. Stop
I don't think I was keeping it for any particular reason. Let's try talking to her now and see if we have a discount now.
They're gonna be all right.
Nope.
Thank you.
But anyway,
Thank you, gods above.
what do we want from her? Probably nothing yet. We really need to get to the boat before we start really decking out our spells. Just 12. That works out.
I'm alive! I'm alive!
I'm just trying to make as much money as possible here. Alright, so I've talked to all the people up here. If we come up here, there is a crafting Bible. You can see the size of what these crafting Bibles actually are. Look how big this book is. It's absolutely insane. But we get a crafting Bible. That'll loan us 24 new recipes. It's kind of ridiculous. We also got Puffball, so we learnt another potion off that. Over here should be Exeter, I think. Yeah, there he is.
A young man in oversized armor paces around a table covered with a spread of maps, his face a tight scowl of frustration.
Every approach blocked. Oh, damn it. What good are battle tactics against those things anyway?
He glances up. In quick succession, he becomes aware of both your presence and the fact that you're not a familiar face.
Who the blazes are you?
I'm the Red Prince, obviously.
My word, I never met a royal before. On the run from Fort Joy, are you? A seeker can always recognize a sorcerer when they see one.
Pause. Say that you met an elf named Verdus in Fort Joy's dungeons, who mentioned a group who might seek you out.
You met Verdus? Oh, then he's as good as dead. We're the seekers he spoke of. We were supposed to free him. Instead, we failed him.
Mention that Verdus seemed to recognize you as, quote, the same as him. Do you know what this Sorry, do you know what this might mean?
You, a Godwoken? Surely not. Though if Verdus said so, you could be important. But there's no way to be certain until we've left this blasted island behind us.
Well, that's fine with me. The sooner I leave this place, the better.
The young man anxiously fidgets with his curved bow. You've found a matter close to his heart, evidently.
That's easier said than done, I'm afraid. Much easier said. The Magisters have us cornered. They have these weapons called Shriekers. If we try to go against them unprepared, we're dead. We've lost many already.
There must be a way to overcome these things. Nothing's invincible after all.
There's weapons. Ancient devices that can counter those things. Our leader, Sir Gareth, set out to find them, so we could break the Magister blockade and escape this island. But he hasn't returned. If Sir Gareth doesn't come back with those weapons in tow, well, this island will be our grave.
I'll look for Gareth and these weapons, if this is what it takes to get off the island.
You'll help us?
His shoulders visibly relax, the weighty armor upon them settling with a clink.
Thank you. Allies are in short supply in this place. If you help us, I promise, we'll get you as far away from this place as possible.
Before I leave, I've got some questions.
Please, ask. Whatever helps.
I've never heard of Seekers until today. What are they?
We keep the ideals of Lucian the Divine alive. The world needs Source, and those who are most adept at using it. We aim to protect those special few.
So they're a splinter spell of the Divine Order, essentially. What brought you in the first place, though, before you were attacked?
We came to free an elf called Verdus from Fort Joy. He was a Godwoken. He could have been the next Divine, but we failed him.
What exactly is a Godwoken?
Well, before there's a Divine, there must be a Godwoken. Only a special few among sorcerers have this potential. Without them, a true successor to Lucian will never rise. And on top of everything, someone seems to be killing what few Godwoken there are. It must be Alexander. A failed Godwoken like him wouldn't want to see any other become the next Divine.
What about this Gareth?
Sir Gareth? He's the finest seeker I know.
I like that touch.
I'm honored to serve as his squire. He wouldn't let us down. Not unless something's gone horribly wrong.
That line there, he, like, almost without thinking, he corrected my Gareth to Sir Gareth. I have to give him the proper title. Do you truly have no idea where Gareth might be?
None. He set out to find those source weapons, and that's the last we saw of him.
Tell me about these shriekers that the Magisters are using.
The old stories say they're weapons, devised by the mad Source King, Brachus Rex. They're these tortured, purged wretches, crucified and forced to channel sheer destruction at whoever their master bids.
How'd you learn about these source weapons, the one that can help you defeat the Shriekers?
The masked priestess, Gratiana, told Sir Gareth of them after she granted us shelter here. She was reluctant at first, but, well, Sir Gareth can be very insistent. Speak to her if you wish. She may know more.
What happens if they manage to defeat the Magisters?
The Magister flagship, the Lady Vengeance. She's anchored at the old harbour. Once the way is clear, we're to take her and get the hell out of here.
Not a bad plan. Steal their ship. Specifically Dallas's ship, which is kind of hilarious. We trade with him. He sells both polymorph books and scoundrel books, which can be somewhat useful, to be perfectly honest. I don't think I need any of the polymorph skills. Spread your wings, potentially.
Screams, echoes of death.
He has a lot of money though, so I can do that.
Gareth,
It's quite nice.
please come back.
Don't need them. Yeah, that'll do. Alright. Next we have these two.
A dwarf stands by a young woman. He seems intensely focused on her, whispering and singing softly in her ear. She's staring blankly into space.
Blood and bone. Fire and smoke. Death and worse.
Hush now, Leia. They'll not hurt you again. You're safe now. Once Gareth gets back, we're going home. You'll see. He'll be fine.
The woman rubs her neck, raking her nails across her skin as she whimpers.
What are you doing with your neck?
The dwarf starts at the sound of your voice, gripping the woman's arm for a moment before he relaxes.
New faces. Hope you aren't bushwhacked by the Magisters too. As for her neck, she's remembering the damnable source collar she once wore. Lucky for us, she had the skills to remove them. There's many a sorcerer that's been freed thanks to her.
Glance at the woman and wonder if she seems a little out of place here.
Aye, that weren't my call. She's not suited to this.
Howling dogs and men. Friends silently screaming through stitched mouths.
Virtus had a stitched mouth.
He puts his arm around her as she starts
And
to
so did
sob.
all the silent monks.
She's delicate at the best of times. I asked Simone for something to help her relax, but Gareth's the only one who truly keeps her calm. If we didn't need her to remove Virtus's collar, she'd be safe somewhere far from here. And now the rescue's scuppered. It were all for nothing.
Why is Gareth so important to her?
We were part of the caravan headed to Fort Joy. Shiny collars and all. Gareth and the Seekers ambushed the caravan and freed us. Saved every one of us from that hell.
Interesting.
But now he's off searching for weapons to take down them shriekers. And all we can do is sit here, thinking about the Godwoken we didn't save.
I've heard that term before. What exactly do you mean by Godwoken? No one's really giving me straight answers.
From fragments to whole. From their past to our future. From their hope to ours.
She ain't detailed, but she ain't wrong. The Godwoken are our hope that a new divine can be born.
They keep saying this, but
Someone
it's
to
not particularly
replace Lucian and
specific.
Push back them Voidwoken. Someone to restore order and protect the source. I'd speak to Exeter if you want to know more.
Wonder how they'd recognize a Godwoken.
There's ways, but I ain't privy to them. One thing I do know, mind. The Voidwoken have their number. They react to Godwoken like no one else.
Talking to them mainly.
Barking dogs in wolves' clothing.
Barking dogs in wolves' clothing. Interesting. I've seen enough Voidwoken for one time. That's all very interesting, but I need to leave.
The dwarf nods at you before turning back to Leia.
Alright. Next we have Gradiana. Hello.
Bless.
Before you stands a figure, her body wreathed in cloth. All you can see of her eyes are two dark holes in an ornate mask.
So Gradiana will sell Thunderbolt books, which is quite useful. She also has a select number of other ones that are just randomly there. I don't know if they're random or specific, but they seem random to me. I don't really know it. She also sells some good weapons and armor a lot of the time. Poison resistance. Yeah. Astarte's Tears is actually quite good for the start of the game. Granted, it's 1041, probably not worth it. +1 Geomancer, Constitution and Telekinesis. Eh.
Gareth,
Yeah, I'm not too worried. You got teleportation, right?
Wish
Yep.
Bonnie Baron, now don't you cry.
I think we're good with Thundersport looks. I thought I bought enough from the previous guy, to be perfectly honest.
Armadia's blessings, child. I have not seen this face in our sanctuary before. Pray, who are you?
I'm a lizard prince, exiled from my own realm. Frightful bother, that.
My sympathies, friend. The Divine Order strike prince and pauper alike. I cannot restore your realms, but you can always make a home here. I am Gratiana, priestess of Armadia. It is a privilege to welcome you to her sanctuary from Brachus's vile swamps.
Why did you turn your home into a refuge for these seekers?
She pauses for a moment before answering.
We must always strive to help those who suffer. For many years I did not understand that simple truth. For many more, I have tried to right the wrongs of my past.
What wrongs did you do in your past?
Despite the mask, you can feel her expression harden.
Time is a river, ever slipping by. It does no good to mourn what's gone before, only to appreciate where the current carries us.
Somewhat true, but if you're trying to atone for your past mistakes, you have to acknowledge your past mistakes.
In this place I can worship the goddess Armadia and help those who come to me for aid. I live a good life. The person that I was is dead.
That's a good line, actually. You'll find out why sooner or later. Wonder why the shrine is here. These swamps don't seem like a good place for worship.
It was not always thus. This swamp was once a rich, lush land before he came. Before Brachus.
It sounds like a long time ago. How long have you lived here?
I have been here for many years. It has given me a lot of time to reflect on the past and learn from it.
Many years. That's not particularly specific, is it?
In truth, the torments of Brachus and of these magisters were not so different. Both purged source from this land.
Yeah, but for different reasons. The Magisters at the very least are doing it for what they believe is a righteous reason. Brachus did it just so he could eat the source and become more powerful.
Indeed. The Magisters have even taken Brachus's worst tools. First, the purging ones, and now those shriekers.
Indeed.
Without something more powerful than these sticks the Seekers are armed with, those crucified monstrosities will kill them to a man.
Assure her you'll find a way to save them.
Twice today I've heard those words. Their leader, Gareth, insisted that he could lead them out of this place. I told him of Brachus's cache of soul-forged weapons, arms not even the Shriekers could stand against. He ventured out to find them, but has not returned. I fear for these souls, if he has come to any harm in the marsh. Without the wands he seeks, not one will escape this island.
Interesting. Could I get directions to this secret cache of weapons?
Gladly, but I fear you'll fare no better than the Seeker. North of here you'll find the ruins of Brachus's source armory. Nothing in this land can counter the Shrieker's power like those weapons. Without them, the Seekers are truly hopeless.
Thank you for the information.
Walk ever in Armadia's grace, child.
So this here is a teleport spot, but also, interestingly...
Amidst the placid little pond, the face of a goddess lies half submerged in the water. Rivulets stream from her deep-set eyes like endless cascades of sunlit tears. You feel peaceful in her presence, soothed somehow by an intangible comfort.
Savor the moment and take your time to look over the statue.
As you gaze upon her loving face, you find yourself drawn into a trance-like state. A voice seems to reach you from within your mind and from the furthest reaches of the stars. Its whispers caress you like a breeze.
Listen intently, expose yourself to this unearthly voice.
The voice grows stronger, like a breeze picking up. What were whispers become words.
My children, my children. Gone are my children. Dead are they in the cradle I have ruled.
Commiserate with her plight. Few fates are worse than hers.
A feeling of indescribable sadness assails you. It feels like your heart merges with the spirits, torn together by a coil of thorns.
God damn, the dialogue in this game is fantastic.
My child, weep with me for the mother who has lost. Weep with me and bathe in the tears of Amadia.
Without a word, in absolute privacy, let her know you two have much to weep about.
You feel the goddess's presence surround you, feel her nestle you tenderly, like a mother.
Let your thoughts wander to the places you have lost, to the titles and the power. Their loss fills you with dread. No, the first one's better. In your darkest hour, you fear you're not as infallible as you like to pretend you are. That a demon may overtake you, or that true love never comes to pass.
The intensity of her embrace deepens. Never since the unremembered days of childhood have you been so enveloped in maternal safety.
My child, I love you. My own. I will guard you. Wander where you will, and cherish the kiss of Amadia.
As suddenly as it came, the voice is gone, and you wake from its presence as if from dream-filled slumber. The pond now shines with an inner light, and standing in its waters, you feel rejuvenated, pure, as if born anew.
Armadia's grace, blessings upon this day. By Armadia's grace, what did you do?
I was just communing with the goddess, obviously.
This is a rare gift, one I've not seen before in all my years. Blessings be. I am humbled to be in your presence.
This isn't normal. That's why it's happening.
Perhaps once, when the 7 gods were still strong. But it has been many years since this was anything other than a pond for me to pray at. Armadia's strength waned when the divine Lucian accepted the power of the 7. This is most unusual. Truly we are blessed to know you. If Armadia favors you, that is all I need to know. Go in peace, brother.
Give her your blessing and leave. So, this is now all blessed water. You will always heal when you're in here, unless you're undead, in which case you will take damage, which is kind of annoying, but, you know, what are you going to do? And finally we have Kerbin.
The faced man sifts through a pile of badly damaged weapons, salvaging the repairable, ditching the broken. He picks up a rapier, the blade nicked and splintered, the hilt twisted.
Few things are as sad as broken swords. Is that rapier in some way important too?
He holds the damaged blade up to the light.
This was Halon's blade. It was his first. It was also his last. He didn't intend to die here, but die here he did. He was an ordinary soul with an extraordinary heart, Halon, and he died for what he believed.
Take the rapier. Note the bend near the point of the blade. Raise the sword and bring it down, flat and hard on the edge of the table.
The point breaks away, leaving a jagged edge. The sword is shorter now, but it'll do more damage.
Hand the rapier back.
Who are you?
I'm the reason you are to keep going if you want it. Nod your goodbyes and walk away.
He realizes, to his surprise, that he holds the weapon in his hand, ready for battle. He smiles to himself, tucks the weapon away, and gets back to work. He works fast, checking weapons to see if they're battle-ready. He thumbs the edge of a blade. It draws blood. He grins.
The blade is thirsty. Now, what can I do you for?
I'd like to trade.
Nice doing business with you.
Now, Kerban, he will sell necromancy spells as well as summoning spells. So, if you missed out on summoning spells or necromancy spells back in Fort Joy, you can buy them from him. He also is the armorer, so he will sell some armor. Wits telekinesis is not bad. HP is not bad. It's a pretty damn good fucking shield. Like, insanely good shield. The fire resistance is fantastic, and that defense is like double what I have. It's it's insane fucking resistance. I mean, yeah, I'm buying that shield. Is there anything here that I particularly need? I don't think so. Shackles of Pain, maybe, but even then I don't think so, to be perfectly honest. But that's a fantastic shield. We're going to equip that one. I may actually equip Closer with this one, because it might be better than hers. It is technically better than hers, so she can take that one. Alrighty then. I need to move shields up around. It is something that is always annoying when you re-equip a shield. Is that your shields up ability will reset itself back to its, like, earliest point. But I think that's actually going to be it for this episode. So we've spent the entire episode just talking to people, and we're sitting at half an hour, so as I said, it will be a fairly long episode, and kind of boring if you don't like dialogue. Having said that, you can fast forward through a lot of these parts, so hopefully you did that, if you weren't particularly interested. But I think I've already read this. I'm going to again, though, because it's of particular note. Tales of the Seven Gods. The Seven Gods were still young when they decided that each of them should have their own race to guide through the eternal flow of time. And thus it happened that Rallick, the most powerful of all gods, became the patron of the humans. The burly Duna created the dwarves in his own likeness, and even lived alongside them in the mountain cavern. Tersendilius, the poet, went into the woods and created the elves. He blessed them with near immortality and wisdom. The reptile goddess Zolstissa wished to command a proud warrior race, and thus she created the lizard people. Fierce fighters from the wastelands. The god Vrogir, renowned for his brutality and violence, created the orcs, and enslaved them for more than 300 years before he left Rivellon. Zanteza, the goddess of mirth and laughter, wanted an intelligent race versed in the arts of magic around her. She created the imps, who were talented magicians and engineers. The goddess Armadia was an outsider, preferring to live in complete solitude. As the centuries passed, the 6 races spread over the continent. One day, Armadia's dalliance with a wizard resulted in the birth of several demigods. She granted her lover immortality and decided that she would act as the patron mother of the wizards. Although wizards are not considered as a separate race, they have always had their goddess to pay tribute to. It's a very interesting book, particularly in this game. But that's going to be it. So if you like the video, please leave a like. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And as always, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time. Bye guys.